too dark for my liking. Oh,
Hey
you
now,
have to
welcome to Gin Lab. And I'm Darin.
I'm gonna be canceled. I'm Jasmine.
And
Jay.
I am Roy, RC,
RC.
in the house.
And on Gin Lab, we typically talk about generational things. Sometimes not.
Mm.
Tonight we're without our captain. We have the co-captain, the sous chef is cooking in the kitchen tonight.
I love it.
That would be RC Roy Coca-Cola from Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of nicknames there. So I'm doing this right off the bat because the videos we put out were jibber jabber, and 15 minutes in, then I started, and that kind of makes me crazy. So I'm just going to get it out of the way.
Everybody's so mad, and all the comments say, "Damn it, Darin."
Really?
Was there even a
What are we
comment?
listening to? We don't even know what we're listening to.
Is
So
there
tell
really
us.
even?
What
Have
is
we
this show
even?
about?
Do we have a comment?
I don't think we've had a single comment.
No,
Please
we had
comment.
a comment. We had one comment and asked
One
why
comment.
I'm wearing sunglasses inside. We did have that comment.
I love
we
it. I
fixed
love a
that
good
problem.
troll. That's
Well,
good.
like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I would like to start out before, because I promised my buddies that drill wells that I would throw an ad out for them. So I would like to know that the beginning portion of our show is going to be brought to you by Balls Deep Well Drilling Service. Whether you don't have access to city water, or whether you just want to take advantage of God's creation, whether you need a well drilled 50 feet or 300 feet plus, Balls Deep Well Drilling has got you covered. Also, sorry, there's more.
There's more. Wait, there's more.
If you have an old well that you just are ready to get rid of, Balls Deep Welling will come remove your old equipment and fill that hole. And I haven't seen a hole that Balls Deep can't fill.
I love it.
We here at Gen Lab do recommend Balls Deep Well Drilling.
I highly recommend. And I do have a question. Is there a specific girth of well that is that matter, or is it really just length?
I think the standard would be a 4-inch for most well drillers.
That's interesting. Is that the average? Is that the American average drill bit?
I'm not sure. I've lived in
below average, but
I feel good about that. That makes me very happy.
Well, shit.
That's like the best news I've heard all day.
Man, we're just starting hot. Yeah, no,
coming in hot.
I really appreciate that. Thanks for all your ad money, Balls Deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you, Roy, for that.
Okay.
Thank you for your sweaty balls. And along with that, Mr. GT sent me a cap. And it's of the very last Gibson's.
The last.
And Gibson's was a store like Kmart that's basically all gone. And there's one that is by Greg. Greg went to the farthest reaches of the universe to get me a hat, and I'm very happy about it.
Fun of Kmart because I thought it was all gone, and I even said that to you guys today. But I drove past a Kmart, like an active
that's
Kmart.
Working.
I mean, it says Kmart. I don't know.
It's got the big K in red. I mean, it's Kmart. Well,
and it was open for business.
Look, there were people parked outside of it. I didn't see anyone coming or going.
They might not have taken the sign down.
Yeah, maybe they're like revamping the inside. Maybe they're making it into like a discotheque or something cool.
Well, if Greg was here, he would research it and tell us right now. But
I thought about doing that, but
yeah, we don't need that.
So, if you had a Kmart enclosed, what would you want to put in that building?
Oh yeah, like what? How something that you would want to disguise as a Kmart so no one would go into it. Okay.
No,
yeah,
what business? Like,
what would you do with your building?
What would you do with your old Kmart?
Well, do we have what are we talking? Like, are they leaving the asbestos behind? Do I get all the shelving?
Don't worry about that.
This is your fantasy, so you do whatever you want.
Yeah, we're not stepping on your dreams, Jazz.
I mean, it's a big, giant store. I remember you could get like a diamond ring. It was basically Walmart before.
Right.
I remember Walmart wasn't really. Well, maybe it was, but it wasn't like a big thing where I lived. So Kmart was where you got your toys and your tires and a stack of pancakes and
And
shampoo.
Tracks shoes.
Oh, okay. And yeah, and a
That
VTech
was their
computer
brand.
on Christmas that your mom got you.
Yep.
So what
Uh,
would you do with it?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot here.
That's the purpose.
I guess I would like, I think the first thing that came to my mind, I should just go with my gut, is discotheque, because I really feel like we didn't give those a fair shot.
It would be a large disco.
It really only lasted for a few years, and I think we could do a really good job. And honestly, I did Zumba to ABBA this morning, so I think that if that's possible, anything's possible.
Well,
Mamma Mia.
discotheques turned into
and
clubs.
Blondie, it's like, you know.
I agree with the disco was short, but like in Dallas, there was a club called the Start Club that was really big and famous. There was a club called Club A. So they were kind of like discotheques for the 80s. You know, they played techno, fun stuff, fun dance stuff. So it's the same idea. So, Roy, did you not get your shirt?
Well, you know what? I realized when I got home, I forgot to stop at the mailbox.
Oh.
Our mailboxes are out on an island.
You have to take a ferry.
You have to paddle out to it.
And the ferry was full. And so I didn't get my mail.
And I pulled up, the ferry had just left. And
I didn't have enough coins.
Yeah. The ferry ride's 10 cents. So
10 cents.
If you could tell me what movie that's from.
Forrest Gump?
How much for the ferry ride?
I don't know.
10 cents.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh man,
there's a song called "Don't Pay the Ferryman."
Okay,
that was a creepy song back in the day. It's where my mind.
Something came to mind when Darin was talking about discotheques, and I got sidetracked by the postal service. Oh my gosh, that was so weird. Okay, so I sell some things online just like for funsies, and I was like, oh, somebody made an order. I need to sell that, or I need to go put it in the mailbox, because I was listening to With the Beatles, and they did a cover of like, wait a minute, Mr. Postman, you know. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go put my thing in the mailbox. And I ran downstairs and I got ready, and I was wearing like pajamas, so I put my outfit on and I ran out, and the postman was like putting the stuff in the mailbox and like about to leave, and he was way early. He never comes this early. So I was like, it was like a sign. I was like, oh my God, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. It was awesome.
Did he wait for you?
Sing this song? That's awesome.
Did. Yeah, he was very kind. He likes me. He always waves to me. I do a lot of his stuff.
Did you throw it out with big drama though and sing to him?
Yeah, I threw it at him. No, I did tell him I was listening to the song, and he's like, huh, okay. Like he
probably didn't even know it.
He doesn't want that kind of relationship with me, but just like a wave and go kind of thing. I didn't tip him at Christmas, which I usually try to do that. So I feel like,
how do you do that? I've never thought of doing that.
Oh, you just leave it in the mailbox.
I've never heard of that.
When we moved into this house a year and a half
ago. That's why they leave your stuff on your trash can. But,
exactly. Okay. When we moved into this house a year ago, so we didn't have our mailboxes yet. The builder hadn't
put them on that
mailboxes
island.
On the island. So I put a box out there, a cardboard box, and I wrote U.S. mail, and I put a brick in the bottom so the box wouldn't blow away. And the letter carrier knocked on the door one day, and she's like, I love your mailbox. My name is, I forget what her name is. She introduced herself. She said, if you ever need anything, here's my phone number.
Wow.
And I mean, it was old school customer service.
Damn, that's awesome.
Is she all about you?
I thought she was gonna.
I don't know.
I don't know a lot of hotties.
I didn't even think of that.
U.S. Postal Service, but I think it would be really cool if she came up. She's like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what is this?"
I know. That's what I was like. That just. I thought I did good because I made it legal. It said U.S. mail right on it. So
you made it legal.
Before I moved here, before I moved to Arkansas, I applied for a job at the post office, right? And by the time I got here, I was told, okay, take the civil service exam, right? Is that what it's called? So I took it. I passed it. Whatever. I can't even remember now.
What does it have on it?
I don't remember. I think it was a lot of You know what? I think it was a lot of how would you handle this situation? Like,
I feel like
let's
I always
say,
fail that.
let's say you're
if I'm
super
honest.
busy and you're behind, but you have a coworker that's behind. Do you help your coworker? Do you say I'm too busy?
Hell no.
It was that kind of stuff. It wasn't 2+2. It was like how's your demeanor?
But
How's
I feel
your
like if
demeanor?
you just have any sort of common sense, you'd be like, okay, they want me to say I'm gonna help my coworker, right?
Well, I've learned
Or
this.
are they? Or are
I
they going to
learned
be
last
like,
week
Stay in your
that
lane.
I don't have common sense. I was told I didn't have common sense.
who told
So
you?
Sorry, finish your story about Postal. I always go off the
no, it's fine. So anyway, I ended up getting hired, right? So I go in person, I do all the stuff, and they show me these large gray bins. Everything was so gray
Mhm.
and dismal and
Oh my
no
God.
outside light, and you
Mhm.
get your mail and you sort it in these gray bins, and then you put it in these trays, and then I wasn't offered a vehicle. So what they told me, I would have to put it in which I was driving a 3/4 ton truck, and have to sit in the middle and do it. And I'd have a rural route, and I'd only like work 2 days a week. You start really low and then work yourself up.
So,
And
so the United States Postal Service was going to send you out to do a route in your own vehicle.
1,000%. And I was like, I drive a 3/4 ton truck with a gigantic thing in the middle. If I sat in that thing in the middle, my head would stick out of the sunroof.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
That would be a really good
I don't
sight
even
to
know
see.
how
You're
this
like
would
hunched
work.
You
over
know what?
the.
I don't understand. Why
How do
don't
you
they
sit in
just
the
go
middle when
back?
you drive? How are you gonna press?
Yeah,
this
I've
pedal?
seen postal workers
don't
do
know.
that. You drive like this. You put one foot.
What? They
You use
cannot want you to do that.
You
That's
use your left foot
crazy.
instead of your right, and you steer with your
No.
left so you can reach out the window.
Why
They
not
also
just?
told me
I mean, I would
for
just say like it's okay because you're postal. You can go on the opposite side of the road.
Why can't you just drive backwards against traffic?
They
Mhm.
also told me they sold like an $1,100 I don't know what it's called, but it's another steering wheel. It's like a clone
Yeah,
that
like a driver's
ties in,
training kind
No,
of.
that
right,
cannot be the
and it
solution.
like works with
Uh-uh.
Jeeps and stuff. They're like,
What
Mhm.
but
the hell?
I don't
Okay,
know.
this is a
But
world I
it
never
was
knew about. That's
so.
so demented.
I was like, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. You're asking
How
too much of me.
how insane would that feel to be on the wrong side of your car? That
That's
is
the
what I
thing is,
couldn't get over.
no.
in
I
a
couldn't
truck
get over
that
that.
size, even from the middle, you couldn't reach a mailbox.
No.
No.
Well, they were.
They should have
I
checked your
couldn't.
wingspan because I think they were
That's what
asking
they
you an
should have
impossible
done.
task. I would rather get out. I would rather park, put my little letters in a bag, and walk the fucking neighborhood. That's what I would do if I
Well,
was a real
but this was a
person.
rural route that I was gonna get, like outweigh the shit out in the boondocks, banjo playing out by the
I
lake
would
and
have
the
liked to see you
hills.
park,
I've always
get out, take it, put it in the mailbox, and get back in your car. That would
But
have
there
been a
might
good.
be a mile difference in the how. I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't
Couldn't
know.
get
know. But
over it. I couldn't get it figured out in my head as
I've
far
always
as
Yeah.
thought that's a
Wrong.
difficult word to pronounce too.
rural route.
Rural.
Rural.
On a rural route.
Not as bad as that one that Greg asked us the other day. And we said it 1,000 times. I
I
listened
don't
to it.
remember.
It was like nihil pilifus something.
Oh,
Something.
yeah. That was
He
the
reads too
weirdest.
much.
I don't think
we
that was
need to
real.
do less of that. We
Less
should
of
do
Greg,
more.
more of us.
Oh.
And that I think every other episode he has to sit.
And you know what? This will get like 3 views, and he'll be so like, "See, that's what's going to happen."
I don't know he's rigging it,
No.
and I'm done.
We're
with
gonna
that,
get comments. Have we mentioned
We're gonna
leave
get
a comment?
comments. Yeah, leave
I
a
would
comment.
love
Leave
to
a
hear
comment.
comments.
I'd love to hear a
Comment,
comment.
like, watch the whole thing, subscribe so that Greg knows that he's replaceable because I think his ego is just way too big.
You're looking at Greg's replacement right now.
No.
Uh-oh.
Y'all quit picking on my big brother.
Okay. Yeah. Don't outshine the
Yeah,
master.
we love Greg.
boy.
We love Greg because
We
he
love
sent me
Greg.
a
Oh my
$16 hat.
god.
Uh,
Okay, so You were talking about
So-
discotheques,
have
and
to-
the thing that came into my head though was those like gastro what were they like
Gastropub.
chemistry
Gastro
experiences that people would do where they would like have like the bubble of beer or something, and you would like pop the bubble and like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like they would do like weird,
No.
crazy, stupid stuff where they would like have ice cream. You would get like a little thing, and it would be like ice bubble, and it would be like made of like sugar and ice and okay, whatever. They would do all these weird like crazy drinks and at these like fancy restaurants for a while. That was like 10 years ago. And everyone would be like, "Oh my gosh, have you been to this restaurant? It has like," and you get a little bite of some stupid crap and have like a little sauce on it and be like sliced in a certain way and presented a certain way.
Sounds high end. Sounds
It was
high
high
end.
end and it was expensive and stupid.
If you
Yeah.
go 3 hours on the little bites, they add up to enough.
3 hours.
I've never gone 3 hours
Well,
on
so
anything in my whole life.
Andrea's boss came into town and took us to sorry, you just sent me down mentally down a rabbit hole.
True.
Andrea's boss came to town and took us to Chez Philippe, which is the fancy French restaurant
It sounds
inside
fancy.
it's inside the Peabody
Chez
Hotel.
Philippe.
Like they have a
Really?
they have a burger on the menu that's $100. It's a
Well, if
100%
it's
black
expensive,
black
it's
Angus
100%
beef.
what? Oh, okay.
Black Angus.
Mm.
Angus, not anus.
I went to the
Well, I can see
restaurant
why
in the
that would be very
Peabody
expensive.
in Little Rock, and I
Black
had
Angus, all that.
eggs Benedict.
Yeah, you were in Little Rock.
I
That's
was in
different.
Little Rock.
And that one's gone. So
The
Yeah,
Peabody,
they
or
turned it into a Kmart, I think.
it's a Marriott now.
Oh,
it's a Gibson's.
Marriott.
I actually did see a Lifetime Fitness out here that was in like an old grocery store. Like it was the trashiest Lifetime Fitness I've ever seen. Because usually they're very like they outdo themselves. They have like a pool, and I'm like, if you get a membership to a Lifetime Fitness and it looks like that, sad day.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Hey,
didn't get
can
to
I have-
answer what
can
I
I
would
have-
do with my.
Well, can I have 2
Goodbye.
minutes and be right back? No, you go ahead. I got a work
He
emergency
has
real quick.
diarrhea. So
I'm gonna
Okay.
mute. I'm gonna mute and go
Well,
to a
do you
work
want me to
emergency.
just pause it?
that tracks.
If you can pause it, yeah.
Yeah, for Roy's
Uh,
diarrhea.
Did you see me slide back in my chair?
I know, just like
I didn't even see it. I was like
I'm sliding
oh, no, it's
into
not
my
working.
chair like
I slide into the
Okay,
weekend.
welcome back.
Yeah.
So,
like you slide in my DMs.
What I
don't think I've ever done that. I did add you on Facebook though.
That I know. I'm still
I mean,
Update.
I just got
We are now
aroused.
Facebook official.
official.
So what I would do with a Kmart is I'd do one of two things, or maybe both things. I'd cut it in half, maybe. Probably not.
Yeah.
I'd do one.
Well,
or the other.
it's big, so
I would
What
make
she
it mini
said.
storage. I would make it
Oh,
time
that's
control
not a-
mini storage, or also Amy is looking to buy a building up here to do like the little booths. All the little people have
Mhm.
booths.
a
Um,
consignment shop or
so,
like a vintage.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I
so
would
maybe
so have done that. I'm so
Three
sad.
quarters of the building mini storage and the rest of it like
Okay,
the
I'm
little
jealous. I really want to do that. I
boxes
want to
that
have a
you-
little. I want to have a little booth where I can put all my vintage furniture and my records that I find
it.
and my clothing.
Amy's doing it.
I know, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is that I tend to start things really well and then I really fall off real hard. And
Sprinter.
we're like, yep. I am a good sprinter. I'm fast, and then I die. so.
You should try it. I mean, it's like $200-300 a booth. If you can find somebody, I'll tell you what she's run into. They ask her where she's been. They need pictures of her booth, which she doesn't have one. She hadn't done it yet. So
I'll help
now
her. I'll help
she's
her curate fake pictures.
she's gonna buy a building and just
I
do
love
the
her.
damn thing
She's
herself.
yeah,
And then
Oh,
rent
so-
out booths.
Right
Okay.
on.
I love it.
Right on.
I love that. Hey, and I actually really like the storage idea because what you could do with that side is, people always they forget to pay. So you take their stuff and you
Oh,
just put
take it
and
over there and
into
sell
a
it.
booth. You just, honestly, you could
No,
just
Yes.
open it up and pretend like it's a booth in
It's a
itself. You know?
Hey,
Exactly.
Just kill the Black Widow spiders that are running around.
Are there Black Widows in Fayetteville?
There are
No.
in Minden.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
they were
they're
in California too, in Texas and all places. But
I think they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
I haven't seen
So,
any out here.
I want mine to
Dude,
be
sorry.
similarly divided, but like a brew house. So you
Oh,
can
and you
take
make your own
part.
beer.
You take part of it, and that's where they make the beer.
Yeah.
But I want a large section of it to be dog friendly. So it's like
inside the Kmart.
inside off leash, dog friendly beer park.
Like a dog park.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
I
you
have
can-
a new answer.
I want to do over.
I would do it, but I didn't
love
realize
it.
you could divide the building.
And then part of
oh,
it is going to be
yeah.
all the fun beer drinking games, your cornhole and whatever.
I like it.
So,
Beer pong. I like that idea. That's really
And,
cool.
and
Yeah.
can I say?
and it's indoors, so it's fine if it rains.
So
Mine's gonna be a Lifetime Fitness.
a what?
A Lifetime Fitness.
Fitness.
Fitness,
Yes, it's perfect.
Like the one I saw in Apex. It was in like the old Kmart building.
Like she was a instructor. I mean, that's what her background is. I mean,
Yeah, and we'll do Zumba on the roof.
Okay.
You could call it Roomba.
No, that's TM.
Call it
Sponsored by Roomba.
Roofba.
Roof Roomba.
That sounds
Roofba.
gross.
Roof Roomba.
I don't know.
guess
It's Roomba on the roof.
Sounds foreign,
No, it's
actually.
Roomba. Call it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Well,
dying.
Yeah.
Brain, leave a comment.
on your roof.
What
Zoom.
You
should
know
I
what
call
sucks
my
though? We
rooftop
just gave
Zumba?
everybody these great ideas.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
did.
seriously, if you
'Cause I'm
guys
not gonna
make
do
an
it,
old
so.
Kmart into a Roomba, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Oh, Roomba. Zumba.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Roomba like a robot?
I don't even know if we can say Zumba. I don't even know what we can do on here. Good, Greg, you should tell us.
It's probably copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is not actual advice from a financial advisor.
Yeah, don't take anything we
Yeah.
say seriously. We don't know
I
what we're
feel
saying.
like we've said that before.
We have.
Yeah.
We have. Last
So
time.
what do you have for us tonight, Roy?
Well,
What
so
are
I
we
was
here
gonna.
for?
I'm gonna try to. I've got a little story.
Is it a long, boring one?
Well, I'm gonna try not to stretch it out too. I'll try not to stretch it out too long for you.
Thank you.
So I have I haven't worked in a lot of corporate environments. I've mostly worked for smaller companies, but I had a 4-year stint with, to me, what was a pretty big corporate thing. And I shared an office, and so all through the whole office, they had the whiteboards and the conference rooms with glass walls, and really promoted, collaborate, write your ideas on the walls, and all of that, all of that stuff. And so,
was there a slide to get down to the cafeteria?
no, there was not a slide, but that would have been cool if there was.
Okay.
So in my office that I shared with, we'll call her Lee. So Lee and I shared an office, and both of us had a lot of interactions with the executive team. So when the executives would come in, it was always like, why aren't you using your whiteboard? It's blank. So I said, all right. I told Lee, I was like, all right, I've got a game we're going to play. So whenever one of the executives come in and they all have their cliches, right? So whenever one of them uses their cliche, I'm going to put their initials, and then I'm going to write their cliche. And then anyone else, because we were both the fun kids, they would stop by and talk. And when if you know Darin's cliche, then maybe you would say it when you're talking about Darin.
Mm-hmm.
So
like 100%.
So when Darin comes to the office and he uses Todd's cliche, Todd gets a point.
Oh, you're
That's
like
awesome.
tallying the points.
So yeah,
Oh.
so
It's the game.
Yeah.
So right. So about thanks, Whit. About she learned that from
Hey
Matt.
girl, look at that.
She was kind of
black.
stingy with it.
Tell her she's gorgeous and I love her right now.
Love you.
You didn't tell her I loved her.
And Darin loves you.
I'm
All
the
right,
one.
so
And I'm sure I'd love her if I knew her.
You will.
Really do.
I know
feel
you
like
will.
would,
I know you will.
Will.
I'm
when
speaking
we get,
it. I'm speaking
when we get our fan club
Our studio
money and we
together
can go.
Yeah.
in Nashville, live from Nashville.
So we agreed. It
Ooh.
was the very beginning of the month. So Lee and I agreed. I'm like, all right, we're gonna play this game. About 2.5 weeks into it, every VP had been, and every one of them, of course, used their cliche.
Mhm.
And so many people would come in and they'd see it and they'd use, oh, we just don't have enough bandwidth. I'm like, that's one for Sean.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was gonna
the-
ask what is like the cliche term? Like,
well,
give me an example.
that's really where I'm going with this.
Oh,
But
okay.
so about 2.5 weeks in, the CEO comes in our office and he's like, man, y'all are finally using your board. And he looks at it and he sees initials. He sees TC, rock on. SR, not enough bandwidth. And he sees all the hash marks on it. He's like, are y'all playing a game? To which Taylor, we both just start laughing until I'm pretty sure Taylor throws me, not Taylor. What did I
Oops.
say?
Lee.
I think I changed her name. Lee. Yeah, not
Lee.
Lee. So Lee throws me under the bus and she's like, that's all Roy. I have nothing to do with that. And it's all in my writing anyway. So
Oh, see, I would love to have a coworker that's fun like that, and we play
I
a
love
game.
that.
Yeah, me too. I would have loved to have been the Ashley at RPM with Darin, and we would have just had the best time just making fun of our boss. But instead, I had to be the boss, and it sucked.
You were the big J with Darin
Big J.
at RPM.
But I don't want to be that. I'm not good at that.
But it doesn't
clearly-
matter. You
I
were
just-
there. You were the team. You were the team.
So
Well,
I know
I
you
got
were
to make a
catching-
lot
you
of
were catching
decisions,
heat.
and I don't know. Were they good?
No,
I
I
don't
know.
know.
And I'm sorry about that. I'm
So
sorry I
my-
wasn't better at it.
My question in that to you is,
Nobody could have been good at the job.
did your coworkers have some interesting or annoying or just completely extremely repetitive cliches that they
Oh, I'm sure I
used?
did.
And
Yeah, it's called.
and what were they?
It's called. We've talked about this before. It's called.
Have-
What's it called, Jasmine? We did this. Not a notebook, but it's. Damn it! I'll think of it in a minute. But okay.
So I know somebody who says at any rate. So like every
any
time
rate.
they'll get into a conversation with blah 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 blah. Well, at any rate, and they say it over and
Yes.
over and over. And then Darin and I would always be like, "You're doing great," and we were really like just trying to reassure each other. But it's from a movie that
It's from a movie.
that he loves, and so like you'd always be like, "You're doing all right," like you'd always say it like he was drunk.
Yeah, it's from Arthur.
Oh,
And then
You're a hooker?
Because
I
he
thought I was
sounds
doing
like-
great.
well, he was
Yeah.
always drunk in the movie.
So every time we were like kind of sucking it, we're like,
Yeah.
"You're doing great."
I don't like know if there's a lot of cliches that I say, but I do a lot of like Matt and I will be like movies that we've seen, that we like
right.
pick up
Use the
movie
lines.
quotes. Yeah, so like anytime anyone's drinking milk, we're always like milk was a bad choice. And then anytime we see honestly, this is just to break tension. I actually texted you guys today. It's like if there's like an awkward situation and you're talking about somebody, you just go, "Is she a great big fat person?" Like from Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
And
You're a very big fat person.
anyways, I don't know.
I have a question about the game. So let's say
game.
we're
Oh,
back.
shit.
We're back. What's the matter?
Oh,
Another call.
nothing. I forgot something. It's downstairs and I need it.
So
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
text her.
another break
Your
for Roy.
assistant.
You're really pushing the limits tonight. So
Oh.
let's say we're at that company, okay, and you're in your room, and Jasmine's one of the people, and I'm one of the people, and let's say Jasmine is at any rate, okay, and
Mhm.
I walk in and I say, at any rate, does Jasmine get the hash mark or do I get the hash mark?
Yeah.
For using
No,
I don't know
it
how I
would
won
go.
the
It
game.
would if they came back and they said it again, then it would go. It would go in their column. 'Cause
So
it's the
you
quote.
don't want to get points. Like
There's
you're
a
not trying. It's
DM.
kind of like you're
No, and
like
points are really not. Points mean everybody's annoyed and uses the term, and they're
yeah.
kind of
Okay.
But my question is, if I used at any rate, do I get the mark or does the person that says it too much get the mark?
They get the mark.
Oh no, they
Right?
get it because unless you're a
Yeah.
VP and have a cliche that you're known for, then
Oh, the
then you don't.
VPs weren't coming
Because
in.
like if
It's
the
the
VPs,
regular people doing it.
because
The
like if the
VPs
VP is coming in and saying like not enough bandwidth, then I'm gonna start repeating that just to like
No,
I
so
don't
And
know.
you're not a
Sean,
VP. You're just a
so
whoever.
Sean comes in
I'm
and
just
he
a
says,
douche in the
we really
finance
just
department.
we really just got to get some traction. So you put
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
get you put gotta get some traction. And then when Earl from
Earl.
HR comes in and he's like, man, come on, guys, we got to get some traction.
Mm-hmm.
Sean gets that point.
Okay.
So,
Because we're all repeating after Sean.
yeah. When
So
the
it's whoever's cliche it belongs to.
so after the CEO left, several apparently he went and told all the VPs that we were playing games with their cliches because several of them came down and are y'all making fun of it? They did the whole.
Did they have a sense of humor about it or no?
Most of them did, yes, because most of them
Good.
didn't, except the VP of sales. He got his feelings hurt.
Really?
What?
You would think
Oh
the
my
sales
God.
guy would be the best.
Yeah, or he acted
Mm.
upset. I'm not sure. He told the story about
His
I don't
childhood.
know. No, I
Something
don't.
awkward.
Getting
Yeah,
made
it
fun
was.
of.
It was
I
too
was the
much.
fat
Mm.
kid in school. So
He was the big
Yeah.
fat girl.
I
He
was
was-
were
he's a
you
great
big
big fat person.
fat person?
So, okay, this just happened right now for me. I've been in sales my whole life, except for right now. I throw papers. So, where I work, salesmen take it in the shorts. Everyone I work with hates salesmen. They hate them and they make fun of them and they dog them and they tell they don't have script. It's awful. They're treated really
Yeah.
badly.
Yeah.
So I take offense to that, and
Yeah.
I'm emboldened by the greatness of sales. Right? I
Mhm.
just love it.
Spoken like a true salesman.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I want to hire you.
like, it just happened. You're like, oh, the salesman couldn't take it. I'm like, he should be the greatest guy in the room. I just said that. That's how.
And he is a lot of fun, but it hurt. Yeah, he wants.
Yeah, I
understand.
think
He's
that
got issues.
salesmen are generally the most fun and all that, but they're also very sensitive. I will
Well,
say
and
that. I'm a
that
pretty good
put him-
salesperson too.
If
Yes.
you put him off center
100%.
stage, he wants to be center stage. And if you put
Mhm.
him off center stage,
What?
then that's an issue.
Oh, I
Not
don't know
Darin.
anybody like
Huh?
that.
What are you talking
What?
about? I've never heard that about myself.
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: am I misguided in thinking salespeople are superior to how people think of them? Did that make sense?
Can you repeat the question?
Like, I think salespeople should be thought of better. And am I misguided in that?
So I think my answer. I think
Yes.
that it depends what you're selling. I don't think
No,
there's-
salespeople love themselves enough for everybody, I think. And I don't think we need to give them any more love. And
I don't-
honestly, at our last job, they didn't like us at all. They would blame
No.
everything on us. So the thing about sales though is generally the higher ups love sales because they do all the work, like they make a lot of money for the company and all that. But it sucks when the lower and the higher ups hate you.
Yeah, the last two jobs
that's
I
hard.
had, I was surrounded by people that hated sales. I mean, my last job where
Mhm.
Jasmine was, the IT girl came in and actually said, "Oh, it smells like sales in here." I mean,
Yeah.
like we stunk.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I don't-
smelled like sales in
fun.
that room, and I was super offended. I was like,
Mm.
See, I love
What
all
the
of God's.
hell?
I love all of God's children, and I don't think that any
Mhm.
department
Mhm.
should.
Yeah.
Because that corporate job's really the only job that I had that had all of the departments. There was sales, there was marketing, there was HR. I mean, it really was, and
Everything.
every department felt like
They were doing everything.
they were the kingpin. And
Yeah.
without
Probably
like they
normal.
were the bandwidth, they were the traction, they were the,
They were the bandwidth. There you go.
whereas I've always been in, I would say, operations. It's more getting stuff
Mhm.
done, and most operations minded people don't
Yeah.
care about the credit. They don't need a participation trophy. You just want to do your job, and then
Did you see that shade that he's throwing at us right now? He's like, "Oh, we don't need your your
oh,
dumbass participation trophies or your credit that you clearly need, you dumb assholes."
you're
Like,
doing a
Hey,
good job.
Roy,
You're both
We're
doing a
doing
good
great.
job.
great
We're
job
doing
at
great.
being Greg, because now I hate you.
Well, well, I'll tell you this. I had a conversation with somebody above me at work, and I said something to the fact. I was like, every once in a while, how about saying, "Hey, you guys
Good
are
job.
doing great," or "Hey, I said, even the shitty RPM place would buy pizzas for us every once in a while. I mean,
Hey, that
how
was
about
me. I'm a pretty great boss, I will say.
how about a little something? And his response was, well, they feel like you get a paycheck. You do your work, you get a paycheck, end
You
of
got it.
story.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Exactly.
there's,
Yeah, but I could go do my work and get a paycheck a lot of places.
well, I've never
And you would
been in
have
this
to
kind of situation.
hire and train and whatever. Like, maybe just like try to keep people a little bit.
Like in sales, I've been in sales my whole life. So if I have a good month, I get recognized. I get called out. At
Yeah,
the
we
end of
need
the
a lot of.
year,
I
Darin
can
had
see
a
why we are
$5 million
annoying to people.
year or a
But
$5
most
million month,
people,
and you get a
and
little trophy.
it's very common for the people that do sales jobs love that stuff.
Yeah, that's why we're good
Because
at
it's
it.
a
Because we're
grind.
incentivized
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
go out
Well,
and.
because you are taking it in the shorts from the public on an hourly basis. They are
Yeah, and we
beating
don't just get to
you
turn
up.
off our cell phone or like go
No,
home and like go to our spouse and be like, "Oh, what a great day." It's like,
Which
"Oh,
one
this
of us just
fucking
got a
asshole
call?
just got it." Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
well,
you
that's
like,
true.
oh, I don't know,
You're
you're
the
doing
boss,
something
though.
extra now. I'm like,
Extra.
I'm an artist.
You know what? My wife's about to be an artist. She's gone to a
Hell
painting.
She
She's
is.
yeah.
gone to a painting class right now.
My stained glass is going wonderfully, by the way.
Love it.
Okay, what's our next thing?
Yeah, what you
I
got,
guess
Roy?
none of us have cliches, but
I know. I can't believe you couldn't even come up with one good
I
cliche.
didn't really know what the assignment was, so
I can't even remember what it's
I
called.
want you to say we did a good job anyways.
I feel like y'all really, really, really did a good job. And
Doing great.
good job.
Now you know what it's
What's
like to
this?
be Greg.
What's this
Greg
movie?
plans the whole episode. He does so much homework. He like really gets it
I did
going,
not
and then we just show up.
You want to know how much homework I did?
Exactly.
I thought of a story that I think was pretty funny, and y'all just talked for 15 minutes about how amazing salespeople are. So, as far as I'm concerned, that was a successful mission. So,
Thank you. You
And-
got us going.
but I do want to know what movie this, because you're the movie. You love the movie quote.
Oh,
So,
okay, I'll try.
good job.
No.
You're doing a good job.
That I don't know. I have no
Good
idea.
job. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Feels military.
Will Smith. Good job.
Mm.
Not a big
Will
fan.
Smith. Will Smith. Men in Black.
He's a superhero.
Oh.
What is that one that
I
was
didn't
bad?
see it.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Hancock. What'd you call him?
Hancock. Hitchcock.
What'd you call him?
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock. Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock.
Something about a cock. I don't remember.
Whoa.
Oh,
There
where's
we go.
Greg
So we don't
with
miss-
a double
But,
entendre?
I know, right. He would have loved it.
Oh,
We should write Greg's obituary for this episode.
he'd be like, "Did someone call my name?"
That would
I
have
do
been a great.
not want to
That
do
would have
that.
that would have been a great thing, is we could have written obituaries for Greg. That would have been a great segment. All right, Roy, what's next?
Oops, I hit the wrong button.
I'll tell the story. It's so wet
I would
and
love
cold
to hear your
out
story.
today. I just barely bent down to pick something up, and I pulled my hamstring. I think that's how tight and cold.
Is
it
that how cold it is, or is that how old you're getting? I
Is
don't
it
know.
is it cold enough to freeze the balls off a monkey?
It's not that cold.
Okay.
Is that a
But it's
cliche
that
you hear
wet.
a lot?
Yeah. Well, I don't think you hear it a lot, but it's a
It's your cliche. That's the
It's
one
a-
you
I've
say.
never
Well, I
heard
don't-
that one. The one I
I
grew
don't
up
think I've
with.
had a conversation with Greg or with Roy.
It,
Oh God, I'm calling you Greg now. With Roy without him saying that.
it recently popped up on one of my feeds and actually told the origin of the saying.
I want
Cold
to know
enough to
more about
freeze.
origins. That's what we should
I
talk
enjoy
about.
origins.
I like to know, like, how did we start saying that?
Funny you should ask because I read it and I could tell you.
Tell us,
Okay.
how would anyone
And what
say
is it
balls off
again?
monkey?
Cold to
So
freeze monkeys? balls?
cold enough to
Can
freeze.
we
Now,
guess?
okay, yeah, cold enough to freeze the balls off a monkey.
Okay.
What's the origin?
I feel like a monkey is not what we're thinking like a monkey. It's not like the animal. It's gonna be like some sort of piece of equipment. I don't know. And the balls are something to do with like the operation of that equipment, and it's cold enough to freeze the balls off. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Wait. Is this the thing about the thing on the deck of the of the
See,
ship?
I feel like you saw the same feed and you half-ass read it.
No, you told us a story, I think.
I told you that.
I feel like you did. You
Oh,
must have read the story. Or maybe I did read it half-assedly, because that sounds like me.
I have a
would hate
guess.
to
If
be
I'm
a
being honest.
rerun. And I could tell Darin today and again tomorrow, and it'd be something new.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
deja
a
vu
guess.
I'm having. Okay,
Go ahead, Darin.
I think a redneck was in charge of the Detroit Zoo one really cold winter, and he said, "It's just cold out here to freeze the balls off that monkey."
Did the balls, in fact, freeze off the
And
monkey?
it's the Detroit Zoo because that's where Roy's from.
The turtle story.
What?
Actually, no.
Balls off a monkey. What is it?
I'm thinking that I must have said it, or either you read the same thing I did because you
Yeah.
pretty much nailed it. It
I
was
freaking
from
know.
back in the 1800s, where
Mhm.
they're on battleships. They kept a brass plate bolted to the deck of the ship next to the cannon.
Mhm.
And the cannonballs were stored on the brass
Right.
plate.
Yeah.
The brass plate was referred to as the monkey. Well, when it
Mhm.
got cold, the brass would contract greater than the lead balls, therefore
They would
pushing
fall
the
off.
cannonballs off, freezing the balls off of the monkey.
I knew
I
it.
think
Okay.
you did say
I must
it
have.
out.
You either said
must
it
have.
or I've read it or somebody
You're
sent
so
it.
you're so depressed that
I'm
What
such a
you
rerun.
blew it.
Hey, what if our Facebook feed is like really similar because we're just like so alike?
You
and I.
think? I mean,
I don't know, but that would be crazy.
because you're the one that
And
told
now-
me about this, the guy in the shorts with the swinging wiener, right?
I don't know if I said that or if did I
I
say
thought
that?
that was Roy.
I think
Sounds like
Greg was the one that was familiar.
I think it must. I think that's something Greg would send, but I don't know. It's hard to
But
say.
you know what? If you guys were very similar, it makes sense because I'm attracted to both you guys. I'm friends. I'm drawn to both of you. So if you
I
guys
prefer
are
drawn
similar,
over attracted.
I like to think that Darin might be a little attracted to Roy.
you know
yeah.
How you doing? How
I
you
don't know.
doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I guessed it just totally
Yeah.
off the top
So
of my
that's-
head. I
So do
had
you
no
want
idea.
a point?
When
I know
it's
you're
not even a
very-
game, Jasmine wins. It's ridiculous.
You
want
want
it.
a point because I know you're very competitive.
I would like 5 points. I
All
think
right. So
Greg would have given me a
who
half
are
point
you
for that
today?
one.
Half point.
So your initials today are BJ. Big Jazz. That's 5.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, what are we doing with
0.
the big J? What does that mean? Just because you're
I
big-
don't
big
know.
time-
I just
big
felt
time?
like, okay, so last time you guys talked for like 35 minutes before I came on, and I missed so many things, but I got to hear them. And
Isn't
there
that
was,
fun?
yeah, it was fun. There was a lot of interesting things to hear, and you guys were guessing, what is she gonna come in as? What is her name gonna be? And
Yeah, I
I
like
just
that.
came
Oh,
in
yeah, I
as the
forgot about that. That was
JB,
fun.
like
Yeah,
like
we were giving you a
literally.
lot of credit.
So
Well,
you're
you
trying
knocked our
not to be
socks off
predictable.
with Jalen. That was
Thank you.
really,
Thank you.
really.
You know, it's
a
only when the
touch.
spirit leads, because if you do it like any other time, it's just inauthentic, and I'm not going to do that. So.
Yeah, you got to go with the flow.
Mhm.
Have you ever had a coworker or somebody that worked for you that just had really bad personal hygiene habits or odors that you had to actually
She can't
um
respond to that because I'm
because
in the
he's here.
square. I'm
No,
in the
Darin,
square
no,
don't
right
you need
next
to
to
leave?
her.
no. But Darin used to be like, "Smell me. Do I smell like ass?" And I'd be like, "What?"
Did I
He'd
do
be like,
that?
"Did I smell like ass? Do I smell like ass?" And I'd be like,
Well,
"Why
I
are you
sweat.
asking this?" No, it was because Whitney, who for some reason was the regional manager cleaning the boys' bathroom, put like butt wipes in your bathroom.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
He was so
wipes
offended.
showed up. I was like, "What the?" Yes, I
You're the only
right.
man in the office, really,
Well, there
until
was another one, but she did it for the women and didn't want to leave the men out. That's what was told. Yeah, I forgot about that.
he
I
was so
thought
offended.
it was a sign.
Roy's on a call.
Roy is
Roy saved another $8,000. Roy, you could
yeah,
totally pay
we're
for a
at
trip
16
for us
grand.
now.
I was trying to get Andrea to bring me something, but
You want me to call her?
do you think she'll
Yeah,
answer?
I
Yeah,
think she.
call
What
her.
if she
I'll
answers to
slide
Darin
into
and
her.
not
I'll
you?
slide
Call
into
her
her DM.
and ask her if she answers.
Hey,
Ask her.
hey, Andrea, could you please bring Roy? What is
Um,
it that you? What's the thing?
Three
I need the
fingers.
game.
We need
I
to
think
talk
she
about
said.
Google
I think she.
reviews at places.
Um,
I
Okay, wait,
wonder,
hold on.
do they?
We were
Yeah.
asking about body odor and smells and things like that, and I will say
so
this.
someone put the like dude wipes in your
Mhm.
You
bathroom.
know the kind of damp, but what I don't know. They're like baby wipes for
Did it
adults.
say Clorox on
Terrible.
the bottle?
I don't think so.
Terrible for a septic
I think the
system,
cleaning
but
crew left that behind.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to flush those things.
no, you're really
Um,
not. And she put them in there. I don't know. We couldn't get a cleaner to stick with us apparently at that place. They couldn't afford it. They kept trying to hire somebody to clean the office, and turns out we just had to end up cleaning it ourselves, which I think is not fair. You
no.
got so much else to do.
Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
um.
and let me say this. So this person we're talking about would go into the girls' bathroom, and I guess somebody was messier than others, and there were little shrapnels on the seat in the girls' room, right? But
Gross.
yes,
Yeah.
gross, all that. But this manager, the person over everybody, would take a picture of it and send it
hmm
text to everybody in the office and say, "This is gross. Clean your shit." I mean, how
You a nasty
embarrassing would
mother.
that be?
Yeah, she was rude.
So
That was
But I
not a
will
good way to
say,
handle that.
no, no, no. But I will say there was a lady that she ended up leaving, and when she left, the problem went away. But I don't know if she like used to live on a
the
septic
problem went
system
away.
or what, but she would like wipe her ass and then put it in the trash can. I don't know why she did that.
Was she
And so,
European or another country?
no, she
Are
was
Did
you
she live in the
some,
serious? I
country
didn't know
on
that.
a?
I
Did
don't
she?
know.
She
She didn't
was
ever,
from another country.
she was, but she didn't ever admit to doing it. So I don't know. We
I
can't
mean, a
like
lot of
say for sure, but
some countries.
it
That's how
stopped when
they
she
do.
left. So I feel like it was probably right.
That's terrible.
My
Yeah, and
I
I'm
But
not trying
you
to be
don't
rude about it, but you
send
just
a
educate
text.
somebody. If you see something like that, you go, "Hey, I saw something in the bathroom today," and you maybe talk to the girls in person. Just say, "Hey, look, this is weird. Let's not throw things in the trash can. You can flush it down the toilet. It's fine." Like, just don't. I
well,
don't see that
yeah,
anymore.
depending on what
Well,
it is, but
I'll
I
tell a
don't.
story. So my father-in-law had a business partner way back early 80s, and she stunk. She was
Mm.
from like Ringgold, Louisiana, back hillbilly bullshit
Mhm.
area, and she smelled bad. And they would go to these meetings, and she smelled like an ass.
She
So,
smell like ass?
well, I don't know.
There's
It
a
was
lot of
before me.
different types of body odors, so I just want to be
I
specific.
exaggerated. It was an ass. I'm sorry. I did
Maybe
that for
okay.
effect. Just roll with me.
Okay.
So he
Cover
sat
your
her
mouth.
down and told her to use deodorant and bought deodorant for her and showed her how to use it. That's how backwoods this chick was. But
She
he
didn't know
taught
how to
her.
use deodorant? That's
I
sweet,
I
actually.
don't
It's
know
kinda nice.
exactly, but she didn't use it. And
Mhm.
he told her to do it, got her some, and she ended up being this great, successful businesswoman.
She literally just like took off from there after he showed her how to use
She
deodorant.
really did.
That
She
is,
was great.
So
I wish that was my problem. Like
story.
I just had one little easy thing I could learn and then
Yeah.
become like super successful. It's
That
like
there's
as
like
simple as
2
my
aisles at
husband.
Walmart that's
My
telling you
husband.
need.
yeah,
My
they're
husband,
two
when I
complete
first
aisles.
met him, he would use the deodorant, but he would do it like the long. Okay, so he would take like the long ways, and he would like do it up and down, like through the
Like
armpit.
you get more.
Okay, I don't know what, but I'm
As
just telling
opposed
you
to
that
what?
it's literally
wide
shaped to
part.
like go into your armpit just one swipe wide. Like if you go wide and you just swipe it up or down,
Oh, he was
that
working like
covers.
all the way across.
Yeah, he's
He
doing the
was trying to
long
get
route.
more.
He's taking the long
Yeah, I
way
don't
home, and
know.
I just don't understand. So I had to teach him how to use deodorant too. And he's
Did,
been
is it
very
that he didn't
successful.
know, or he had a method to his madness?
No, he like just never thought to do it the other way.
That's funny. I go wide.
Yeah, I
but,
go wide. That's
yeah.
Of course you do.
efficiency.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if it
So
was
my-
perfectly round ones? Like I think there's some that's perfectly round.
Yeah.
Well,
I
then
don't
you
use
can't do
those.
any. There's no wide or nothing. You
Because
just there's
that's
one
like
way.
you're talking about brute.
I'm trying to help him.
You're talking about brute. That and like
Aaron, wasn't there one called Aaron or something like that? It was completely round,
I
like a
don't know.
roller ball.
All I
You know
know
what
is
I've
that
done?
for
oh, the
I
roller
didn't-
balls are nasty.
You know what
No,
I've done
you
on
can't do
accident?
that.
The BioFreeze is next to my
Oh.
deodorant, and I have used BioFreeze in my armpit, and baby, that will light you up.
Frozen?
It's terrible. You froze. You froze.
You froze.
You froze.
Jazz
Roy
froze.
froze.
No.
Anyway, I used, and I've done it like 3 different times on accident.
Darren,
I'm like,
move your
oh my
we
God.
have to
BioFreeze.
move the BioFreeze to another
right?
room.
No, all I know is that the deodorant with like the Toms of Maine or whatever, where you start to stink about 2 p.m.
Oh yeah,
you're like, oh,
Tom's.
fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, no. So you got to
What
use
is
the aluminum bad.
So this now we did a whole thing, and
Yeah,
that's
we had
when
a-
Greg. Yeah, you weren't there that day.
Yeah, we
had
had
a
a
whole thing
deodorant show.
on
Greg,
Oh, we
deodorant.
did?
Greg
Oh,
has
man,
like
I missed it.
16.
You missed it.
Well, you can go back and watch it.
Greg
No.
uses a
He has
Greg
like
uses a
16
different
ones.
deodorant every day. He has
Why?
because so his body won't
Like
metamorphosize to
get
that
used
particular.
to it.
Yeah,
You
No,
won't
but he's
become
like at 2
immune?
weeks worth.
Dude, he's got the
he
craziest
took a picture. He
ideas.
took a pic. I bet I could find the picture on.
Yeah.
No, I
he
believe
texted
you.
it.
You don't have to tell me. I believe you. But
Okay.
I just feel like there's a text thread going on between the 3 of you without me, and I don't like it.
There's
No,
not.
there's
That needs to
I
stop
did
today.
call Greg. I did call Greg this morning though because
He
I
went to
had.
see
I feel
Greg.
left out, and I don't like it.
Can I say that I wish there was a text thread between you and me and nobody knew about it? I wish that, and that doesn't exist.
I bet there
Okay.
is.
We
There was
text.
a long time ago.
My
Text back and forth.
my sister-
I feel like
kidding.
this morning.
I'm kidding.
my sister said she works for Boeing, like the airplane company. Am I allowed to say that? Shout out to
We're
Boeing.
sponsored by Boeing, I think.
Why
Is she
don't
the
you
one that
throw
puts
it?
the doors on?
Would you like to throw an ad about Boeing?
Oh no, I need
No,
some
no.
more time to prepare.
Okay,
If you
Boeing.
like it-
time.
Where we just barely tack on the doors.
Oh
So
yeah.
she said
yeah.
she got-
Oh my god.
She's an admin for her department, and so I
Boeing,
guess
we just had to let a lot of people go.
yeah.
And so here we are.
So she's an
fraud.
admin for a VP or something for a department, and she got an email, and
She
it
gets
said
fired because of this.
someone is using the ladies' room, and it's not anyone from someone's coming from a different department and using our bathroom, and they're tearing it up. And could you please send an email to everybody to let them know to use your own bathroom in your own.
How do they know? That's what
I guess
how do
she
they know?
recognized, I guess she knew the digested smell of gumbo and knew no one in her department ate gumbo.
Oh, come
know?
on.
If
I have
somebody is
no
coming
idea.
from out of department and taking
But-
and tearing it up.
but
Like,
can
how do you
you-
know that?
But how do you ask someone to send that email?
No.
How
no,
do you
that's already
reply?
a full joke.
How do you reply
know.
when you get that email?
They're like,
mean-
this is not familiar to me. I'm gonna assume this is out of department.
That is
No,
not my
That's
department.
a new game.
That was the
Let's
salesperson.
rip a fart and ask, what did he have for lunch today?
That
That
is
is
definitely-
hilarious.
Which
That is
department did
definitely
this come
not-
from. That's finance. I'm 100%
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
that is definitely
sounds
not
that
from
smells like a
sales because our
salad.
shit does not stink.
Yeah, it smells like
Oh,
roses
boy.
in this place.
Oh,
Oh boy, I felt that shot.
Mhm.
How
Okay.
ridiculous is it that the smell was somebody? she
I
didn't
don't know
recognize?
about that, but I'm just. How do you even send that email?
I don't care if it's true or not,
Whitney
but in my
did.
mind, the email said there was a smell in the bathroom today that was unfamiliar to our department, and we're gonna have to rectify this. Excuse the
Rectify?
pun. Rectify. Excuse the
Petty
pun.
bills, nothing. How about the text that says you bitches need to clean your shit up in a small office?
Look, I wasn't offended by it because it wasn't me. I don't take a crap in public. I never could. I
it
literally don't
definitely
know how people
wasn't
do it. I
me,
would rather
but
become so constipated
damn.
I have to go to the doctor before I shit in public. Do you know
So-
how hard
Oh,
basic training
stop
was
it.
for me? I'm not kidding you.
Oh, pooping in
I-
public. I
I-
could poop in,
and I'm
and I
telling
could
you,
poop on this
We
show.
didn't have stalls on the showers. That was so traumatizing. I'm such a private person sometimes.
Well, you told me a story. There was some gal that didn't like you and made you do jumping jacks naked, and I don't know what all.
It sounds
Yeah,
like she
the
really
Something.
liked
Army's a
her.
terrible place.
You were in
The
a
Army-
terrible place.
The Army's a terrible place.
There was a mean girl picking on her.
Well, look, I said I rise to the hazing occasion, so people would be amazed at what I'll lower myself to. Okay, I have never turned down a dare, and I've been dared some ghastly things.
I dare you.
Ghastly, yeah, definitely. Running across the
yeah.
ball field and
That's not the
everybody
worst
saying
one.
ew.
That was hard.
That was ridiculous. Oh, you know what? I have a commercial. So I
All right.
have a relative that
Similar.
is a somewhat large artist.
Oh,
You need to change that sign behind you
And why?
to SEMA.
Oh, brilliant. So
Let's do
Seema is like married to my cousin, and he is a big time rapper. And I've come this close to getting him on here, and I've given him a
But he's
break.
like-
He's always been busy.
Is it like
But-
too cool?
But now
I
that
don't
we
like
have
his
our
music.
numbers, up, I'm going to get Seema on here. So
so does he?
brought
Is
to
he?
you by Seema.
Is he
No,
a
he's
freestyle?
good.
Is he freestyling, flowing, like throw it at me and he'll spit some lyrics,
Ooh,
or is
how
he
do
like
you
writing?
feel about my lyric that I wrote? Because
That
I
was
would-
good stuff.
I'll sell it to him.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about rap, but I like Seema. He's cool. And
Just put him in the
nice.
group text, and we'll figure it out.
So-
We'll bombard him.
Can I listen to SEMA on Spotify?
Probably.
Okay, just go to SEMA.
No, he's
That's
only
how-
on
Hold on,
Apple
hold on,
Music.
hold on. I've got this.
Oh, SEMA 256. What's the 256 mean?
It might be a Christian-y kind of thing. I don't know.
Hold on. Can
Oh.
you do
But
it
this
again?
is old. This is like 10 years old. I may be behind the.
Is it
Yeah,
SIMA?
the website is-
No.
I can't see it.
CIMA.
Oh my god. Oh my god. CIMA. And then what?
256.
Oh, I thought you were going to.
No, I'm about to
Spotify.
try to.
SEMA
Google it.
256.com. But 256 just doesn't flow off the tongue right. He really
I don't know.
should've-
Maybe that's his address. I have no idea. I
I'm
don't know
guessing
why-
that's his. I'm guessing that's his zip code or his
Yeah.
area code.
know.
Represent 256 in the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
919.
He's-
916.
he's-
Reverb.
he's
Is he
from-
Reverb Nation?
I don't know a lot. We're gonna get him on, but he's
Hold
awesome.
on. Is that him?
Yes. That's
Oh,
him.
he's white.
Of course
Yo.
he is. Aren't
Why
all
is
rappers?
worse?
256 represent hip
I don't know. That maybe was that was presumptuous of me. I just figured
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
not white.
But he's really great, and I want to get him on.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Can
now
you
that
hear
you
that?
told me that he's a white rapper, I really believe
Hit it. Hit it.
we're gonna. That can't play.
You on top of your game, man.
Oh.
Can y'all hear that?
It's just such a lovely place to be in.
He's got one or two that I really, really like.
One or two. Anyways, what else do we have tonight? Oh, I wanted to talk more about body odor. That down.
All right,
That's what
I'm
you're
coming back
talking
to.
about.
I'm gonna text him say, man, we just threw it out to you, dude.
All right,
don't do
Seema. So
Yeah,
shout out to Seema.
our 4
He's
So
from
there-
5 followers will get you 101 listeners.
I had a coworker that stunk and was dirty, and we're renovating a hotel. You could walk into one of the rooms and
She was
nobody
in.
was in it, and it stunk in there.
Yeah.
And then he was working in the room next door. He just finished in that one. So
Yeah, he wasn't even in there, but
we had to have the conversation. And the next day when I came to work, I walked by a stranger when I was coming to work, and he's like, "Roy, you ain't even going to say good morning?" And I was like, I turned around. He shaved his head. He shaved his beard. He bathed. He apparently put on clean clothes.
What was he, like, homeless before? What's happening?
He reeked like you would anticipate homeless to smell, but I guess he didn't realize it was offensive.
You know, the thing that's hard about smell is that when you're in the smell, you get used to it.
Dude,
and so
everybody loves their own flavor.
No, you don't. It's not that. It's just like you don't notice it. So like sometimes people would be like, "You smell like laundry detergent." I'd be like, "Oh, I didn't think I smelled like anything." But I guess my laundry detergent was very strong. So
I'm scared to death of smelling or having bad breath. I'm scared to death of that.
Well, and then there's okay, so I want to know on the level of offense, like where are we putting things? Because I feel like bad breath is way more offensive to me than bad armpit. But then like crotch or butthole, fart, burp, get out. Like, no, I don't want to smell that.
Bad breath is there. I have some coworkers with which it derived from the Latin term halitosis, meaning
halitosis.
That's the research that I did do on
Haley
bad breath.
Halitosis. If you know Haley, just saying.
There's
ketosis, you've got bad breath.
I've been in group settings having a conversation and watch.
There's a specific kind of bad breath that I'm thinking of right now, and it's so specific, but I smell it on certain people sometimes, and it is like
you're in ketosis.
I know. I don't know what it is. It's not ketosis. It's like death, and it's like it smells like blood almost.
It's like a rotten tooth. It's a rotten tooth.
Yeah, and it's just I've smelled it like 4 or 5 times in my life, and it's so specific, and it just
So I watched a group of 5 when it was well known that one of the 5 had rotten tooth halitosis, and watched people jockey for positions of where they're going to stand to avoid being close enough to be pummeled by the rotten tooth halitosis.
Oh yeah, if you have somebody who just stinks, or like they have a really bad breath generally, or they talk too close to you or something like that, yeah, I could see the jockeying for position. Have you ever seen that Nate? Have you ever seen that Nate Bargatze? Like he does a little shtick about the dead horse. He'd be like, when your horse dies, what do you do? And he's like, you got to like get friends to come help you. And when they see that dead horse in your driveway, they're not going to be like, or like they're like you'll say like, oh, I need you to help me come move a couch. And you'll get there and you'll see the dead horse and they'll be like, we're not moving a couch, guys. We're going to touch that dead horse today. I got to be really shocked if we don't touch that dead horse. And then he's like, and when you have to go to it with a lot of enthusiasm and just get right up into one of the front legs, because you don't want to get stuck on the other side. Like,
jeez. Well, I'll tell you a bad breath story. So I got some friends around during football season, and I think it was a big game. I can't remember. So they had extra friends coming in, and they're like, hey, come on, Darin, come, let's go to this place, and you'll meet some extra people and this, that, and the other. So we all get there, and everybody is awesome and gorgeous and helpful. And the Piper gets there, and they're like, oh, we know the general manager of the Boston Red Sox, and you name it, it was perfect.
Yeah.
and everybody is a model gorgeous, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this young couple that was so cool and all this, that man's breath was it was dead horse, dead tooth, terrible. And everybody's talking to everybody else, and I've got him right here.
Oh, he's right there too.
And he's so nice. And
Was it smoker breath?
I feel like
no, it was
he was doing a lot of like, hey, Darin.
I
Like,
mean, it was giving me a headache. It was so bad. And we were at DSP where it's really, really tight when it's busy. And I just
so
afterwards,
and you're just looking around and everybody's surrounded by like cute models and they're all like, and you could just tell like by the way that they're like fresh.
And you're talking to smelly guy.
And you're talking to this guy who has bad breath.
No, he was great though. He was young and good looking, and he had this cute wife. And I was like, how does this girl let him do this? But he was probably
maybe she drove, and on the way he performed.
That'd be really hard unless you were in a mail truck, maybe, or something. You had like a
maybe
middle.
she sits in the middle. Yeah.
No, it was a mail truck.
Who knows what I mean.
I'm just saying it's brutal.
Have you seen him again, or
no?
If you saw him again, would you try to get close enough to get a sniff?
I have a really good friend that
to see if it's
they're
a
tight
recurring
with, but
incident.
I'm not tight with it.
Did you ask them? Did you say something about it? You should have said, like, is that like normal bad breath or is that like extra for me? I have a question. Like 10 out of 10, hottest lady you ever saw, like perfect in every way, and her breath is like that guy.